Nathan Judo. I'm here with Wolves reporter Mr. Liam Keane. Liam, Wolves 0, Bournemouth 1 after 2 back-to-back wins, going for 3 in a row. Thought it was never going to be easy, but dearie me, that's a real shocker of a defeat, isn't it? It's a gut punch.
It really is. We spoke about complacency, didn't we, before the game? We know that Lopetegui won't stand for it. It'll be interesting to see what he says in the press conference afterwards. I felt there was some complacency there amongst the players, and I felt that there was a feeling going into the game amongst a lot of people connected to Wolves. The Wolves were going to stroll through this game and easily get 3 points. We both think Wolves will be fine this season, but at the same time, Wolves are still in this.
Yeah,
they're not out of this yet, and you can't. Albeit, yes, Bournemouth are poor, and I can't dress up any more than that. They were poor today, but they got the one statistic that matters. They put the ball in the back of the net, and they got 3 points. They saw the game out in the way they chose to, and the referee didn't really have a grip of it, but they got the points they needed, and Wolves didn't. So you cannot say fairer than that. Wolves were not at the races. They were too relaxed in the first half. They had a lot of possession. They created half chances. They got into good positions, but they didn't take advantage of that.
No.
Second half, they got the gut punch, as you say, from the 4 minutes into the second half with the Tavernier goal, and they never really got back into the game. They were panicked in their application and attitude, and they just rushed everything, and they didn't really come close to scoring.
The shots on target were abysmal, really, for the amount of possession that Wolves had, and it was just, there was no urgency throughout that game. It was almost like there was an inevitability that they were going to score at some point, but no one was really taking the bull by the horns, taking responsibilities, making something happen. It was all half chances, near misses, pretty powder puff stuff in and outside the box, but no one there, and there was enough chances there for Wolves to win the game today, and it was just a lack of cutting edge.
And then it's ironic, you talk about the urgency, and you're totally right in the first half, and then the second half they go 1-0 down, and it's the other end of the spectrum, and they're desperately trying to force something, they're forcing it, rushing it, panicking. At no point was there someone takes stock. You've got half an hour left here to breathe. More than that by the time they scored. Breathe, get the ball down, pass it in between the lines, pick the ball at 1-2. None of that. It was out wide, quick, get the ball, lose it. It was all over the place in that second half. They didn't come anywhere near close. They didn't look close to scoring. Didn't come close to scoring. And a lot of fans are tweeting me saying they could have been playing for another 6 more hours, let alone 6 more minutes in added time there, and they wouldn't have scored.
And look, Bournemouth are going to go down. Of course, they're fighting for their lives. They're going to try. This is a massive win for them, a huge win to come here. I mean, they've been poor all season. To come here, that's a massive result for them. So they're going to do it by hook or by crook, and they were smarter than Wolves today. And I hate to say it, they wanted it more than Wolves today.
I sort of touched on the time wasting there in one of my previous answers, and I'll talk about it now because I don't blame Bournemouth for doing it. Obviously it's annoying, but every team does it. Wolves have been guilty of it at times this season. Every team does it. Every team utilises it. And
if the referee's not going to add it on,
this is exactly the thing for me. It comes down to weak officiating. Every single week we're talking about officials. There wasn't any mistakes, quote unquote, today from Michael Salisbury, but there was weak officiating. At no point have a grip on the game, allowing even a small thing like Billing getting injured, go off at the nearest point of exit off the pitch. He walks halfway across the pitch to get off. It's little things like that. 6 minutes added on. I think Billing was on the floor for 6 minutes on his own. So I'm not blaming Bournemouth for doing that because clubs do it and Wolves do it as well. So it's not a Bournemouth thing. It's just frustrating when the referee doesn't have a grip on the game to make decisions. And for me, it's not really a point for this game because Wolves have lost. But overall, bring in the rugby system where you stop the clock. I don't see. It's such an easy thing to implement.
And look at the World Cup where there was 99, 101-minute games. It is what it is. So, but obviously that's not happening, and they're taking full advantage. The goal, I thought Max Kilman had a good game. Obviously Tavernier's got in between, I guess, Kilman and Semedo, who I thought had a poor second half. Actually, Semedo. I thought Kilman was better today. Just a frustrating goal to concede, and I thought Adama Traore was probably the pick of the bunch.
Yeah, I think so. Adama sharp, got into really good areas, explosive, good, several good crosses. I thought he was probably always his best player. Semedo was disappointing because first half I thought he actually played really well. I said to you at half time, I think he played well. Comes out second half all over the place, looked knackered, to be honest with you, which is bizarre. The goal, I need to look at it back again, but I think it's probably more a good run than anyone's mistake. If I'm going to squeeze someone's mistake out of it, it's probably more Semedo than Kilman, because Kilman, is facing the ball. Tavernier goes in behind him, and Semedo's there to either block him or make the shout, and I don't think he does either.
And at the other end of the pitch, look, I said it at half time, but 3 strikers in Diego Costa, Raul Jimenez and Mateus Cunha have all got on today. Cunha obviously played the majority of it. The other 2 came on as substitutes. Still, all three of them looking for their first Premier League goal of the season, and therein lies the problem really. There's not someone there, a clinical striker or clinical forward to put the ball in the back of the net. Jeremy Podence came back on today, he's the top scorer this season, so, but really, you want more, don't you, from those?
Absolutely. A lot of people again today talking about Cunha and saying he's not an out-and-out number 9. I think we've been saying this all along. I like him a lot. I think he brings a lot to this team, but I don't think he leaves the line on his own as a striker. I think he should be playing off someone. The moment that Costa comes on, Cunha comes off.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen him play with a striker, not come off in replace of one. So disappointing. He had a few sort of half chances, snapshots, but a few wrong decisions, a few delayed reactions with his decisions as well. So not the best afternoon for Cunha, unfortunately. Costa came on, did okay, but nothing. A couple nice headed opportunities, but nothing particular. Jimenez looked fairly bright, but he had limited time to make an impact. So the Wolves need goals, and unfortunately the strikers aren't providing.
Look, for the fantastic and the amazing scenes last week, it's pretty demoralising out there speaking to the fans afterwards, and to add insult to injury, you've got Southampton winning at Chelsea today, obviously Bournemouth winning here, you've got Forest getting a late draw against Manchester City, and Everton winning at home as well against Leeds. So look, like you say, we both think Wolves will be fine this season, but they're still right in this, aren't they? And they're going to have to get themselves out. Fulham away to come, then Liverpool away, then Spurs at home. Those are 3 games that are not going to be easy. Fulham have gone to Brighton today and won. So it's an interesting game Friday night. They need to keep up picking points, and they are picking up points, but they need to be better than what they've shown today.
Absolutely. Look, it proves today. Look, Everton getting another win. Bournemouth, albeit I think they probably will go. I've got a result today. The other clubs you mentioned, Wolves were 5 points clear before today's action. Obviously, that's been reduced quite heavily now. They've still got a long way to go, and that guarantee that will be Lopetegui's message to the press now after the game. He said, and he keeps saying, I repeat, it's a long and hard race. Look, it's boring to keep saying the same things over and over again, but he's absolutely spot on. He really is. Wolves are not out of this. No. I do believe Wolves will be fine. I think we both do. But they've got to show a lot more than they did today. They were too relaxed first half, too rushed, panicked, and a little bit soft in the second half.
Wolves 0, Bournemouth 1. For all the post-match reaction, make sure you log on to expressandstar.com.